everyone. Welcome back to the final part of the this little three-part series for our predictions of the La Liga, Serie A, and Premier League. This video is the Premier League now. If it wasn't obvious already. Welcome back, Nico.
Hello, everyone. Good to see you again for the third time today.
Well, we recorded this all in one day, but you guys might not see it in one day.
Yeah.
Dummy. Um,
Okay.
so lad, should we just get right into it?
Yep.
We'll
Yep. Whenever
start,
you're ready, you can go first.
I'll go first. We'll start off with our three relegated teams as we always do. In 20th, I got Luton Town, newly promoted. They haven't been in English top flight for about 3 decades. They were in the third team out of the three that were promoted, and I think they'll struggle to keep up with the rest of the league. To be honest, I don't know why. I just feel like they're a small club, and I think their home ground will be a representation of how they do this season. Um, yeah, so that's 20th. Did I say 19th and 18th? Did I say that? I didn't. I should have done that. Luton
Go
Town
ahead.
20th, 19th Sheffield United, and 18th Nottingham Forest. Sheffield, it wasn't long ago since we last seen Sheffield United in the Premier League. But I also don't think it'll be a long until we see them leave again. I don't know why I made that sound so rude. I didn't mean to make it sound that rude, but I just think we'll see them back in the championship again, and I just don't think their quality match the other teams in above them. And finally, Nottingham Forest taking that 18th spot. Just another team that I think the teams above them just have a lot more quality than them. They're a lot more proven and just simply bigger teams. These teams are pretty small, to be honest, and I wasn't too impressed with their last campaign either.
Mhm.
What do you think, Nico? What are your three guys?
Okay, so for 20th place, I have Sheffield.
Okay.
I put Sheffield. Okay, let me go through them. So 20th Sheffield, 19th I got Nottingham, and 18th I got Luton Town.
Oh, so we have
So
the same teams just rearranged.
yeah. So yeah, I agree with all your picks. It doesn't really matter what place you put them in.
Yeah.
I guess they're all getting relegated anyway. So as far as transfers go, yeah, just like pretty basic transfers. I think like between all three teams, the biggest transfer is probably Alanga going to Nottingham.
And that only
Also Wood from Newcastle. He also went to Nottingham, the
what's his
striker.
name? Chris Wood?
Yeah, I think so. Um, So yeah, first of all, Sheffield, yeah, 20th. I don't see them really competing that much. They just came up and I think they're gonna go straight back down. Nottingham as well, like they lost Jesse Lingard.
Yeah.
Uh, I noticed that. So I don't know how much that's gonna affect them.
Hmm.
They came 16th last season, but I don't know, they didn't really gain enough to like make me keep them in the Premier League. So, and as we know, the Premier League is the hardest league in the world. So, like to stay in the Premier League
Yeah.
without making any acquisitions is definitely not the easiest thing. So, yeah, that's why I'm putting them down. And Luton Town, I don't know. I didn't put them dead last because I had some hope for them just because of like all the hype that's around them. And like just like you saw the memes of like their
Yeah.
the stadium
The
that they're
stadium.
in.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Just for fun, I put them 18th, but they're still getting relegated, so it's not really fun for them.
If they stay up, they're probably gonna have to like renovate or like make some sort
Yeah,
of make it look like a Premier League
yeah,
stadium.
yeah.
So yeah, those are
Let's
three
move on.
teams. Those are three teams that are pretty much like almost built for championship football. And yeah, we think they'll struggle a little bit. Moving on, our next four. I got in 17th, I got Bournemouth. 16th, I got Everton. 15th, I got West Ham. 14th, I got Crystal Palace. So 17th, Bournemouth. Over the years, Bournemouth kind of find themselves in an up and down situation where like they'll get promoted one year and then they'll get relegated the next year. Kind of like the same situation like Norwich has sometimes. They're just straight up and down. But this year I think they'll edge it out and stay up, and maybe they'll stay a Premier League side for a couple seasons in a row. Everton used to be known for this club that would always challenge top six teams,
Yeah, that's
qualify
how I
for
remember
Europe.
them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
qualify for Europe. Nowadays, it's like they face they face relegation in the face for like the majority of the season.
it's
And in
sad.
recent years, they just fallen off tremendously, and doesn't look like that'll be changing, unfortunately, for them next season. They're kind of like the same situation as Sevilla or like a Valencia,
Hmm.
where they were competing like just a few years ago, and now they've kind of fallen off.
Hmm.
West Ham is kind of similar in a way. Uh, they were like Everton competing for Europe every season, but they took a big hit last season, losing Declan Rice, and also part of the reason I think because they had to deal with Conference League, another competition to deal with, so they took a big hit there. Um, like I said, they don't have Declan Rice, and I think we'll see a similar performance from the Hammers this season. And then finally, Crystal Palace in the 14th spot. Uh, Crystal Palace, I just feel like a team that does nothing.
I
Like
know,
every
I
year, they
know.
just do nothing. They're never close enough to Europe, but they're never close enough for relegation. They're not really a story in any sense. The ultimate mid-table club. I'm just giving them a little bit of a drop off from last season.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, so for me, I have 17th Everton, 16th I have West Ham, 15th I have Bournemouth, and 14th I have Crystal Palace. So we agree on Palace.
yeah,
And we also agree that West Ham should be kind of farther down the table.
yeah.
Even though I kind of liked some of their acquisitions. Um,
Would they bring in transfer man?
huh? Oh, okay. Let's see. So let's start with Everton. So 17th place Everton. They brought in Danjuma, I think is how you say his name, from Villarreal. I'm pretty sure he's only on loan, but there might be an option to buy. He's a pretty interesting player.
Another
He
one
was on
Villarreal lost.
he was on Tottenham last season.
Oh, okay.
But they didn't want to buy him back, I guess. They also got Ashley Cole, which or sorry,
What?
Ashley Cole. Wow, Ashley Cole.
He's back.
Sorry, Ashley Young.
Almost
Uh,
as old.
wow, yeah, he should be gone too. But
Yeah.
anyway, they got Ashley Young. Um, what can I say about Everton? They came 17th last season, right? They came
Yeah.
17th place. I'm keeping them there. They're gonna just survive.
Yeah.
West Ham, maybe you can make the case that they should be a bit higher. Like I like Alvarez, that I think he's a center midfielder from they got him from Ajax.
Hmm.
So that's an interesting pickup. They lost Kamaka, and they finally sold Vlasic to Torino. They
Mhm.
got Ward Prowse.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, they did get wardrobes. Yeah.
And they also won the Conference League last season. So I mean,
Did they get McTominay?
no,
That
no,
didn't happen, right? And they almost got Maguire, but they didn't get him either.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
But
maybe that would have helped them a little bit. But
that striker on Ajax Kudus?
yeah.
Yeah, they're close to getting him, I
Oh
heard.
yeah,
So he could be huge. Like he could
that's
bring
a
them up the
huge
table to
pickup.
maybe like more mid table than bottom of the
Yeah, I'd
tables.
bump him up a few spots if they get him.
I heard that that's kind of close. He already has an agreement with the team, so we'll see what happens there.
That'd be huge.
15th, I put Bournemouth. They're kind of like Palace, to be honest. Like they're always like that mid-table team. They never really like do really good or really bad. Like every once in a while they'll get relegated, but they'll stay there, you know?
Yeah.
They brought in Kerkez, young left back who I actually really, really like. He was on the Milan Youth Academy. Then he went to play at that team in the Eredivisie, that AZ team.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then he was close to joining Lazio this summer, and then Bournemouth took him from Lazio like after they already agreed to sign him. It was
That's
insane.
that's because Bournemouth and Lazio are the same level club.
Okay. Anyway,
Where do you think Bournemouth would finish in the Serie? Like 13th?
yeah, probably. By the way, they also got Traore from Sassuolo, that Traore guy that
Oh
I
yeah.
said Sassuolo lost.
We'll
He's a
see
good
him.
pickup. He's gonna be really good for them. I'm telling you right now.
Okay.
And then 14th place I put Palace. Yeah.
Yeah.
They lost Zaha though.
Yeah, he
So
went to Galatasaray.
Galatasaray, yeah. So
That's
he
a
could
big loss for
he
them.
could be a big loss. All right, moving
Next
on.
up, so those teams just missed relegation. Next up we got to finish the bottom half of the table. 13th I got Wolves. 12th I got Burnley, and 11th I got Brentford. Why are you smiling?
No, because I'm just looking at like the difference in our thing. It's
Oh,
actually cool.
okay. Okay,
It's
okay.
because they're like close, but they're not like the
Okay.
same.
Okay. So Wolves, right out of promotion about like 4 years ago, 5 years ago, around there. Wolves were outstanding, like out of the gate. They were competing for Europe spot a couple times. They were known for being a Portuguese-based club. And over the years they kind of lost key pieces such as like Diego Jota, Jimenez. He had that serious skull injury. I don't know if you remember that.
Mhm.
And Doherty and their former manager Nuno, who is now coaching in Saudi. Um, so that's kind of been a big reason for the small drop off, but I think they'll finish similar to last year in 13th. Burnley, it's a bit, I don't know. Maybe people don't think this, but I think it's maybe some people think it's a little bold for me to put Burnley this high after just being promoted. Um, but I think, last year they tore up the championship. They got 101 points. They have a manager who knows how to win in the Premier League in Vincent Company. And just that alone, that would just keep you safely right out of relegation battle. So
Yeah.
I think they'll come close to around mid table, I think. And Brentford, a club that gave other big clubs a run for their money, especially early last season. I think they beat Man United like 4-0 or something early in Ten Hag's tenure. So they've lost a star player though in Ivan Toney due to those gambling allegations. I forgot how long he was suspended for like 18 months or something
Mhm.
stupid. But I don't think they'll drop off too much. So I got him in 11th.
Yeah. So for me, I put Burnley 13th. Yeah, same reasons as you,
Yeah.
but I also noticed they picked up a lot of young players. Probably players that you wouldn't know. Uh,
Oh, okay.
no, like
Sorry, boss.
neither would I. Like I
Okay.
just looked, but like they're all like loan with option to buy and stuff from like
Yeah.
Man City, like all these like top teams. They just picked up like these young players from all the
Players
top.
that aren't playing and whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think and Company is honestly a great manager. We've seen what he's done with teams. So
Hmm.
yeah, I think they have everything they need to be a solid mid-table team. And obviously they tore it up last season, so why not? Why not come 13th in the year that you get back, you know?
Yeah.
And then Wolves, I have them 12th. Last year they got 13th. The reason why I put them one higher is just because they bought Cunha, and I think he's gonna be great for them. They got rid of Neves, which I think is a big
Yeah.
loss.
Big loss. Yeah.
But yeah, I think Cunha is gonna tear it up there as well. And then Fulham 11th place. Uh, not sure why. I mean, they came 10th last year.
I see what you mean when you're like comparing our tables.
Yeah.
Now I see what you mean now.
So I put Fulham 11th. They came 10th last year. They bought a few players, nothing crazy. So I'm just keeping them there. All right.
Next up for teams to just miss Europe. So you just finished saying Fulham. I got Fulham in 10th.
Okay.
9 I got Aston Villa, and 8th I got Tottenham.
Oh, wow.
Are they close?
No, yeah,
Oh, you're
like
just shocked that I put.
no, they're close. They're
Okay,
close.
okay. So Fulham in 10th. They're a team that hasn't seen the Premier League too much in the last decade. Kind of been not really on and off, just not really there a whole lot.
Mhm.
But they put a good performance in last season. I think they'll repeat that again this season. Although losing Mitrovic is probably a big loss for them. Um, you can confirm that, right? They lost Mitrovic.
For who?
Fulham.
Yeah, they did.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Fabrizio.
I'm the transfer guy.
Yeah. Ninth Aston Villa. That's a team. This is a team that I'm actually really excited about. I think they have such a good squad. The club has done like a phenomenal job in upgrading the team. They've added Pau Torres, Tielemans, Diaby in this summer. Sorry, I cut into your business there a little bit, but
No, it's okay.
they
Let
also
it,
have
let it.
they also have a great coach in Unai Emery. Um, the reason I don't have them making Europe though is because I feel like their hands will be full because they did make Europe previous season. So that's going to be a new challenge for them, and we'll see how they do.
Yeah.
And then Spurs in eighth. I mean, I don't know what to say. Like, it's a little bit sad about how Spurs are just like they're not competing anymore. With not even top five anymore, right? And now
Yeah.
they've lost Harry Kane. Are they going to get much better than than what just happened, right? So there's a
If
lot
I'm
of
a
question
Spurs,
marks.
if I'm a Spurs fan, I'm in depression right now.
Yeah, lost Lloris, like you said, he might be going to Lazio, right? So, we'll see how this team can compete without their best player, and I don't think they have what it takes to make Europe, to be honest. I would add this though. I wouldn't be surprised if Spurs and Villa did both make Europe, but I don't think it'll happen.
All right, so I have 10th place Aston Villa, ninth place Brentford, and 8th place Brighton.
Okay.
So Aston Villa in 10th. Yeah, they brought in a whole lot of talent. There's no reason why they shouldn't be making Europe with that team because they made it with their team last year.
Yeah.
And they didn't really get rid of anybody actually. So they
They're like, why did I put them there?
no, it's no, but I agree with you in the fact that like I don't think they have enough depth to compete in European competition and in all the
Yeah.
competitions that you have to compete for domestically. So yeah, and then ninth place I put Brentford. They came ninth last season. They didn't really change much with their team. Pretty solid, so keep them there. Brighton number 8. They lost a few players.
That
And
is true.
when we made these predictions, I didn't see that they lost Caicedo.
Yeah.
Even though I don't think he's as big as people say he is, he definitely has to be worth something to them if they sold him for over 100
Yeah.
million.
Yeah.
So I definitely think him, McAllister, Sanchez, they lost their keeper as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're all gonna be like pretty big losses.
Yeah.
But they did pick up Joao Pedro from I forgot what team he was on.
Sounds familiar.
I think he was on Wolves.
Maybe. Is he Portuguese?
Yeah.
Yeah, he probably came from Wolves then.
Or no, sorry. I think he's Brazilian.
Oh, okay.
I think he's Brazilian. Anyway, young striker. They picked him up. And they also picked up Igor from Fiorentina.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, and so I have Brighton in 8th. All right, let's get to Europe.
So Conference League and the two Europa League spots. I have Brighton in 7th. I got Chelsea in 6th, and I got Newcastle in 5th.
Okay.
Uh,
We're starting to agree with things now.
yeah. So Brighton, like you said, they lost a few players, but they also have a great scouting team, I think.
Hmm.
That's always talked about. Like once you get a player out, they make a lot of money, then they bring in some more talent. Um, Even last season, they Brighton impressed me a lot. Um, they impressed the whole league essentially with their qualification for Europe. I think not many people thought they would do as well as they did, despite their loss of Potter, who went to Chelsea that season. De Zerbi came in, he did a great job, filled his shoes pretty well. Um, but I have him dropping a slight bit, mainly for the Villa reason, where they're competing in more competitions now. But what you said does make sense. How they're also losing a lot of key pieces.
Yeah.
Um, Chelsea, the Blues were a riot last season. Doesn't take a genius to see that they can't get much worse from last year. Optimistically, I think they'll make a big jump this season. I mean, 12th place, you can't. There's no way you finish around mid-table again, right? You're a funny
I don't
guy.
know. I don't know. I don't know. Let me get
Anyway,
to Chelsea later.
I think they'll make a big jump from last season. They got some good young new players like Jackson. I really like him a lot so far. Enzo's found his feet early. He's a good player. But also I think the departures helped us too in a way. Like we've had these players for quite some time. I think it was time for a fresh start. I think it was time for a fresh start. Get rid of the Loftus Cheeks and the Pulisic's and you know the rejects.
Okay.
No,
I can't
I
I
think
can't
they'll do
wait.
well for you. I
No,
think
I can't wait for the reaction video to this at the end of the season. We got relegated. We needed Pulisic.
oh, that won't happen.
Okay.
Anyways, I think it's time for a fresh start with the new players they brought in. Kind of like a new era. Reece James is the captain now. New coach Pochettino. He knows how to coach in the Premier League ish. And yeah, I think they'll make Europa League. I think that's a fair judgment for myself to say. And then Newcastle. This team excites me because I think they can soon be a part of the Big Six, replacing the Spurs maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I almost lost my train of thought there. New ownership helped this club a lot. They put money in the right places, I think.
Yeah.
Um, signing Tonali was maybe a bit of an overpay, but he's doing well
Well,
so far.
I don't
Uh,
know if it's an overpay,
are
but
you sure?
I don't know if it's an overpay, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see at the end of
Hasn't
this.
even proven anything.
Listen, I go based off of what I see, and what I saw at Milan, he was definitely worth the money. Now I don't know
Okay,
if he can do it in the Premier League, but we'll see.
we'll see. Anyways, the Champions League will be a big challenge for them this year. But I have them top 5.
Okay. All right. For me, I have Tottenham 7th, Chelsea 6th, and Newcastle 5th.
Okay.
Now, Tottenham, they got rid of Kane. They might be getting rid of Lloris,
Yeah.
Harry Winks, all players that have been there for a while.
Yeah.
Um, but you know what? I don't think it's the end of the world. Like for you, it's more drastic the change. But like the only big thing I think is Kane, because every other player they replaced him this transfer window. Like Winks, they got Madison.
Madison. That's a good replacement. Yeah.
They got Van de Ven. I don't know if you heard of him. He's a Dutch center midfielder. They got him for like 40 mil. He's
Oh,
actually
okay.
pretty decent. Lloris, they replaced him with Vicario, who
Yeah, that's who
I
you said. Like,
I
I think they
already
went to Spurs.
yeah.
They did.
He
Good job,
is
lad.
class, and they're gonna see why I'm saying that he's class. So, um, I think it's a fair replacement for Lloris, especially because he was getting old.
Yeah.
They got Poro. Actually, I
That's
think they got him last in the winter last
Winter.
season,
Yeah, I think they got
but
him
I
winter.
think they officially signed him now.
Okay.
They officially signed Kulusevski,
He was
and
good for them until he got hurt.
yeah. So I don't know. I think they made some good signings, enough to keep them in Europe, but who knows? Maybe like Brighton will come through and pass them, or even Aston Villa. I don't know.
Yeah.
Then
This is
as
why we
I
love
said,
football.
yeah, as I said, sixth place Chelsea. They got Caicedo, who I think is the biggest waste of money in the last 10 years. And Kunku.
I think you can think of worse.
And Kunku is injured. The Sassy. Never seen him play in my life. Jackson,
He scored last weekend.
Jackson, I can admit he's actually pretty
He's
decent.
decent.
I saw videos of him. He was pretty good. And Sanchez, he's pretty good too, I heard.
Yeah. So
Now let's look at the sold players. Kai Havertz, Mason Mount, Kovacic, Loftus-Cheek, Pulisic, Koulibaly, Mendy, Kepa, Kante, Aubameyang.
yeah.
Wow.
Some of them were good departures. Like Aubameyang was never going to see the light of day. Um, who else?
What are you
Mount was
doing? What are you
underperforming.
doing getting rid of Kante, Koulibaly, Kovacic,
Kante.
Mount, Havertz?
Okay,
These are all
okay.
quality
I can defend some of
Mendy.
these. Kante didn't play for like 2 seasons because he's been like hurt.
Okay.
Koulibaly, I don't know why we got rid of him. Maybe he just wanted to leave because Saudi was offering him money. Who else was there? Aubameyang, yeah, he can go.
Mount,
Mounts
Havertz.
was See, Mount was like my favorite player, and then he started underperforming, and we got like 60 mil for him. So I'll say that's a great deal. You can even say that yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Havertz, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of liked Havertz. I thought like he was people were too harsh on him. He was generating chances, just kind of got unlucky with the finishing, and I think Arsenal got a good player there. Kovacic is one I'm really sad to see go though, because he was actually one of our players that was actually consistent and could show up every day. But yeah, these are your predictions. I stole your spotlight here.
All right. It's fine. Um, it's
Doesn't
okay.
sound fine.
It's fine. Um, so fifth position, I put Newcastle.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, Newcastle. They brought in Tonali. They brought in Barnes. And a guy called Livramento, who they picked up for like nearly 30 mil, I think. Never heard of him before in my life. I don't know why he's being sold for that much, but
Cheers, Jeff.
last year they got fourth. I think they lost a bit of quality losing Saint Maximum and Wood. Two solid players in the attack for them.
Especially Saint Maximum. He was really good.
They didn't really bring in another striker. They lost a striker, they didn't bring in a striker.
They have Isak though.
Yeah, but you want a backup
Yeah,
or do you
true,
want to
true.
just play with one
Oh,
striker also?
sorry. I'll log off
Um,
now.
yeah, so that's my reasoning for bumping them down one. But yeah, I didn't really I didn't really say like what I thought about Chelsea. So I put them sixth because yeah, they're wasting a lot of money on like Caicedo, but like who knows? Maybe he'll actually turn out to be good. And I don't think there's any way that they could do worse than last season.
I'll
They
be.
got
I
they got
didn't
a
know
pretty
who Caicedo was until they were linked to him.
but anyway, they got a pretty solid coach in Pochettino, so I think they'll be okay. I think they'll get uh Europa League and they'll be fine. So yeah, let's move on to your top four.
All right, this is where it gets good now. I got the top four here. Fourth, I got Liverpool. Third, I got Manchester United. Second, I got Arsenal. And first, I got Man City, obviously. Liverpool, for the majority of last season, spent their time in the middle of the table. Eventually, they picked it up towards the end of the year and qualified for Europa League. I think they'll improve this year from last year and qualify for UCL. I think that's just where they belong, essentially. Third, I got Man United. Last season was kind of like a reality TV show, especially at the beginning for the Red Devils with all the Ronaldo drama. Uh, Poor performances at the start of the season. But now I think Ten Hag has control over his team, it seems. And I think now he can put him in a position to win this year. Third for United. Second, I got Arsenal, and we know them for bottling the league last season. Well, do you remember the days, like how many days they were at the top? It's like 200 and something where they
Yeah,
were spending on in first
very,
place
very
in the
long
league.
time. I think it was until I think it was past January, no?
It was like the last 5 match days, I think, where they kind of lost it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, so it was that far. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They had it, and then they kept dropping points.
Right, right. I remember it. It was like around like March,
Yeah.
April.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unlucky. But yeah, it's hard
For
to.
who? For me or
No,
Arsenal?
for them, for Arsenal, not you. Why would you be unlucky?
I don't know.
Anyways, like if we forget all that, like Arsenal is still a pretty damn good team
Yeah.
with the players that they have. They got quality in every position on the field. I would talk about their new signing, but I'll leave that for you. Their wingers are deadly, Saka and Martinelli. But Man City is too good. I got them in first place. Treble winners, Champions League winners for the first time. Recently won the Super Cup. Who can stop them really? Like they have arguably the best player on the planet. They also added Vardiol. Like if they weren't already indestructible, it was a no brainer for me to have them win the league again, Nico.
Yep. All right. So for me, I have Man United fourth, Liverpool third, Arsenal second, and obviously City first. So let's get to Man United. They brought in Hoyland They brought in Mount. They brought in Onana.
Do you
Those
want to
are
talk about
three.
Hoyland?
Those are three solid, like very, very solid uh acquisitions.
Do you
I
think the price they paid was solid too?
Hoyland, maybe not. But Mount and Onana were pretty fair prices to be honest. Maybe Mount was a little high,
Okay.
maybe.
I was gonna say,
So
so if Milan paid 60 mil for Mount, you'd be happy.
no. They got rid of Fred, Alanga, De Gea, Telles, a few of those players that never really like came into the team that much last season. Apart from De Gea, he was crucial. Obviously, he won the
Yeah.
Golden Glove.
Mm.
They came third last season, so I think I'll put them fourth this season just because they lost a little bit, they gained a little bit, but I think it's still like new players. They still have to get used to the team. They're
Yeah.
not like complete game changers as well. So like
No.
the
Yeah.
teams in front of them kind of strengthened a lot more. So I think that's why I'm putting them fourth.
Fair.
Um, Hoyland, I think yeah, he should have been a lot cheaper.
How
There's
much
no
did you pay for him in career mode?
I did a career mode with Frosinone. I got him for 6 million. I know it's FIFA, but like FIFA always gets you with those price tags. Sometimes they make it even worse than real life. Sometimes if you try to sign someone, they'll put it like freaking 50, 60 million more just because it's stupid. But
And also, what was it? 6 mil you said?
6 mil.
6 mil and 70 mil. Like that's a big difference.
I don't know. I'm not basing real life off of FIFA.
Yeah,
Obviously.
obviously, yeah.
I'm just saying like if I don't know, they base FIFA off of a real thing. So if it's that different, there's a problem. But I'm not saying he's not going to be good for them. He's probably going to be good in the future.
Yeah.
Third place Liverpool. They brought in Szoboszlai, who I think is going to like absolutely tear up the Premier
Great
League.
player. Great
He's
player.
such a good player. I wanted him at Milan so many years, like I think 2 or 3 seasons ago, when he was still playing on Salzburg.
Yeah.
Then he moved to Leipzig and now to Liverpool. And yeah, he's such a good player. They also brought in McAllister, who again another good player. We saw him what he can do at the World Cup.
Hmm.
He was really really good. So yeah, they strengthened their midfield because they lost a few players in the midfield. They lost Fabinho, they lost Carvalho on loan, they lost Henderson and Keita. So I think Szoboszlai and McAllister are great backups to fill in the spots for those older players that were kind of
Yeah.
getting out. And they lost Firmino in attack, but I'm pretty sure they can replace him with someone else soon.
Yeah.
They're not like in dire need for a striker right now. They got Nunez, who's looking pretty good so far in preseason. So I think he'll do pretty good this season,
Yeah.
especially with the delivery that Szoboszlai can offer. They came fifth last season, so I think it's fair to put them around third or fourth. So I put them
Yeah.
third. Arsenal second place. They brought in Rice, they brought in Havertz, they brought in Timber, Raya, who isn't as big of a transfer as the previous three, but he can still be good in net. Even though he's probably not going to be starting.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
They sold Shaka, who honestly, like I don't think it's a
Maybe he
big deal.
needed to go.
It's bound to happen. They just beat City in the Community Shield a few days ago.
Yeah, that's right.
So yeah, why not put them second to go toe to toe with the champions? And that brings us to Man City. They won the Champions League. They won the Premier League. They won the FA Cup. They won the Super Cup a few days ago. Actually, sorry, yesterday, no? They
Yep.
just won the Super Cup
Yep.
yesterday. What more can they have? They brought in Guardiol as if they didn't already have enough. They brought in Kovacic as if they didn't have enough depth.
Yep.
They lost Mars and Gundogan, but like
They were Gundogan is a big loss because he was like big moments, but he was also getting older, and Mares came off the bench anyway.
I think they're stacked enough not to worry about Mars and Gundogan. Even though they were really solid for them,
Yeah.
they can easily replace them with the players they already have.
Yeah.
And yeah, they have a top class manager who is the greatest of all time in my opinion.
What's his name?
Pep, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Why?
I just wanted to know. He seems
Are,
to be a big name, so I just wanted to know.
are you testing me?
No.
Oh, okay. You're so weird.
Thank you.
So yeah, I think they're gonna be unstoppable. I don't think they're gonna completely run away with it, but I think they're gonna do good enough this season.
Yeah, they might not run away with it like they usually do. Well, last year they didn't, but I'm really hoping it's a lot tighter this year.
Yeah.
Uh, especially at the top. But yeah, good lad. That's the Premier League done.
All right. I think we got through all of them now.
Yep, we did.
No more leagues to predict today.
You want to do Bundesliga now?
No, I think I'm okay. I'm okay for today. Sorry, German fans, but you know what? Maybe next season we'll get into the
Yeah,
Bundesliga.
Bundesliga is a good league.
Yeah.
Much
All
better
right.
than League One.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would agree.
Yeah.
All right, that's everything. Thank you guys for tuning in for the third episode of this three-part series
Yep.
that we have on predictions. We're actually gonna make a playlist for it. I also want to remind you guys to stay tuned for either the episode that's gonna come out either Monday or Tuesday. It's gonna be on the Saudi Arabian League and all the hype around it and all the transfers and
Yeah.
what we think about it and how successful it might be. So stay tuned for that. It's gonna be a really good episode, and that's obviously gonna be our next podcast episode. So it's gonna be a bit longer. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's everything we have in store for you today. So thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.